Deep beneath the waves, a relic of the Cold War rests on the ocean floor. This is not a sunken ship or a lost city. It is a lost nuclear weapon, a hydrogen bomb, capable of unimaginable destruction. The bomb disappeared decades ago, lost during a military operation gone wrong. Its exact location remains a mystery, a secret the ocean has kept for generations. This is the story of the Lost Nuke, a tale of Cold War tensions, human error, and the enduring threat of nuclear weapons. It is a reminder of a time when the world teetered on the brink of annihilation. A time that, while in the past, still casts a long shadow. Join us as we dive into the history of this lost weapon, the search for its resting place, and the potential consequences if it were to ever fall into the wrong hands. To understand the story of the Lost Nuke, we must first journey back to the Cold War, a time of intense rivalry and suspicion between the United States and the Soviet Union. After World War II, these two superpowers emerged, each possessing a terrifying new weapon, the atomic bomb. Fear and distrust poisoned the relationship between these nations. Both sides amassed vast arsenals of nuclear weapons, each capable of obliterating entire cities. The world held its breath, knowing that a single misstep, a miscalculation, could trigger a global catastrophe. The threat of nuclear war was a constant shadow, shaping international relations and fueling a global arms race. This was the backdrop against which the story of the Lost Nuke unfolded, a time when the stakes were incredibly high and the consequences of a mistake could be catastrophic. Our story takes us to the skies above the Pacific Ocean in the early months of 1958. A B-47 bomber, a workhorse of the United States Strategic Air Command, was on a routine training mission. The plane, carrying a Mark 15 hydrogen bomb, was en route from Alaska to Texas, a long flight over vast stretches of open ocean. Then, disaster struck. Somewhere over the Pacific, the plane vanished, lost without a trace. The disappearance of the B-47 and its deadly cargo sent shockwaves through the U.S. military. A frantic search was launched, ships and planes scouring the ocean for any sign of the missing bomber. Days turned into weeks, and the search continued, but the wreckage of the plane, along with its nuclear secret, remained elusive. The official explanation was that the plane had crashed at sea, likely due to mechanical failure, and the bomb was presumed lost forever, swallowed by the depths of the Pacific. In the years since the B-47 vanished, the Lost Nuke has become a Cold War mystery, a source of fascination and concern. While the U.S. government has never officially confirmed the presence of a nuclear weapon on board the downed aircraft, declassified documents and eyewitness accounts from the time suggest otherwise. The exact location of the crash remains unknown, making the search for the lost bomb akin to finding a needle in a haystack that happens to be thousands of square miles of the Pacific Ocean. Despite the challenges, there have been several attempts to locate the missing bomber and its dangerous cargo. In the immediate aftermath of the incident, the U.S. Navy conducted an extensive search of the area where the plane was last tracked, but to no avail. Decades later, spurred on by renewed interest in the case, private expeditions have also attempted to find the wreckage, using advanced sonar technology and underwater drones to scan the seabed. Section 5. The Challenges of the Deep. The search for the Lost Nuke is not just about finding a missing plane, it's about navigating the immense challenges of deep-sea exploration. The Pacific Ocean is vast, and the depth at which the bomber is believed to have crashed poses significant technical hurdles. The pressure at that depth is crushing, and the environment is unforgiving, with darkness, cold temperatures, and strong currents all hindering search efforts. Moreover, the wreckage of the B-47, after decades on the ocean floor, is likely to be heavily corroded and covered in marine growth, making it even harder to detect. Despite these challenges, the search continues, driven by the knowledge that a lost nuclear weapon, no matter how old, represents a potential threat that cannot be ignored. The ocean may guard its secrets closely, but the determination to find this lost relic of the Cold War remains undeterred. Section 6. The clock is ticking. As time marches on, the urgency to locate the Lost Nuke intensifies. While the likelihood of an accidental detonation is considered low, the potential consequences of such an event are too grave to ignore. The bomb's casing, designed to withstand extreme conditions, may be weakening, corroded by salt water and the relentless march of time. This deterioration increases the risk of a breach, potentially releasing radioactive material into the surrounding environment. Furthermore, there's the chilling possibility that the weapon could fall into the wrong hands. Terrorist organizations or rogue states, eager to acquire nuclear capabilities, might view the Lost Nuke as a tempting prize, a shortcut to obtaining a weapon of mass destruction. The thought of such a scenario, however remote, adds a chilling dimension to the search, underscoring the need to locate and secure the weapon before it falls into the wrong hands. Section 7. The threat of nuclear material. The Lost Nuke serves as a stark reminder of the enduring legacy of the Cold War, a legacy that extends beyond the geopolitical tensions of the past. Nuclear weapons, even those lost or forgotten, pose a clear and present danger. The radioactive materials within these weapons, such as plutonium and uranium, have extremely long half-lives, meaning they remain dangerously radioactive for thousands if not millions of years. Should the casing of the Lost Nuke rupture, these radioactive materials could be released into the ocean, contaminating marine life and potentially entering the food chain. The consequences for human health and the environment could be severe and long-lasting. This threat of nuclear contamination adds a new dimension to the story, highlighting the far-reaching implications of nuclear weapons and the need for responsible stewardship of these deadly devices. The potential environmental impact of the Lost Nuke is another pressing concern. The ocean is a delicate ecosystem, and the presence of radioactive material could have devastating consequences. Coral reefs, fish populations, and marine mammals could all be affected by radiation poisoning. This contamination could disrupt the entire food chain, impacting not only marine life but also humans who rely on the ocean for sustenance. Furthermore, the deep ocean currents could carry radioactive material far beyond the initial crash site, spreading the contamination across vast distances. This could lead to the creation of dead zones in the ocean, areas devoid of life due to high levels of radiation. The environmental consequences of a nuclear leak would be catastrophic, highlighting the interconnectedness of our planet and the need to protect our oceans from such threats. Despite the challenges and the high stakes involved, the search for the Lost Nuke offers a unique opportunity for international cooperation. Given the global nature of the threat posed by nuclear weapons, collaboration between nations is essential in locating and securing these lost relics of the Cold War. Sharing information, resources, and expertise can significantly enhance search efforts and increase the chances of success. Moreover, the search for the Lost Nuke could serve as a catalyst for renewed dialogue on nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation. The discovery of this lost weapon serves as a potent reminder of the dangers of nuclear proliferation and the need for greater international cooperation in controlling these deadly weapons. By working together, nations can take concrete steps towards creating a safer world, free from the threat of nuclear war. The story of the Lost Nuke is a cautionary tale, a reminder of the enduring legacy of the Cold War and the ongoing threat posed by nuclear weapons. It highlights the dangers of nuclear proliferation, the risks of accidents and mishaps, and the long-term consequences of nuclear contamination. The fact that this weapon remains lost, its exact location shrouded in mystery, underscores the need for greater transparency and accountability when it comes to nuclear weapons. This incident also serves as a reminder that the Cold War, though officially over, continues to cast a long shadow on the world. The nuclear arsenals built up during that era remain, and the threat of nuclear terrorism or accidental detonation is ever present. The Lost Nuke should serve as a wake-up call, urging nations to redouble their efforts towards nuclear disarmament, and to work together to prevent a future where these weapons of mass destruction fall into the wrong hands. The search for the Lost Nuke is not just a matter of historical curiosity or a technical challenge, it is a call to action. It is a reminder that we cannot simply forget about the mistakes of the past or ignore the potential consequences of inaction. The Lost Nuke is a symbol of a larger problem, a problem that demands our attention and our resolve. We must demand greater transparency from our leaders regarding nuclear weapons, urging them to prioritize disarmament and work towards a world free from the threat of nuclear annihilation. We must support organizations dedicated to nuclear non-proliferation and invest in technologies that can help us locate and secure lost nuclear materials. The future of our planet and the well-being of generations to come depends on our willingness to act. Let the story of the Lost Nuke serve as a catalyst for change, a reminder that we must never grow complacent in the face of such a grave threat. The time to act is now before it's too late.